Hi.
How's baby Mav? I feel like we haven't spoken to him about
Oh my
a minute.
God, he's growing so freaking fast.
Is it his
But he's
hair
great.
growing
all
fast?
the things, all the things. But as a parent, I'm doing my best to not swear in front of him. Dude, that's hard.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Candace.
And welcome to Don't Start.
And as we like to say, don't start.
Candace, save it for the show.
Exactly. So let's get to it.
Wait, do you remember one of our recent interviews? They talked about allowing their kids to swear.
Yeah, I know. And then they're like, just don't do it in front of people or at someone negatively.
I think it's like you can't help but slip then, right?
So my kid is saying it naturally. And what I mean by that is like literally he goes, oh shit, if he drops his toy. And
Yes.
I'm like, because I do that. And I'm
Yes.
like, Candace reeled in. So we're going, oh shoot, oh sugar. So now he drops the toy.
You know my friend Annie Morcos? The first time we met, she remembers me going, oh, sugar.
Yes.
She's like, who is this person? And it was because I worked with kids.
You're like,
that I was
can't-
very conscious to say sugar.
Yes. So
Yeah.
now he drops a toy. He goes, oh shit, I mean sugar. And I'm like, oh boy.
goodness.
So now he's fully correcting.
Guys, being a parent is really tough, and I am not one, but I watch and I see it with my brother and
It's so
sister-in-law.
tough.
And these kids, they have emotions and they have mouths on
Yeah.
them. No, I'm not saying, but they
yeah.
have opinions.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
love my nieces and nephew dearly. This was a funny one. Baby Marky, he's a brute. Could be a rugby player at some point or a wrestler. And then he got like in trouble at school or written up. And he's more the kid that like, I feel like if somebody's like, hey, Marky, let's go. He's like, yeah, let's go.
I love that.
And then he tackles.
Yeah.
The teacher was like, we disciplined him, but he's so cute. And I was like,
It's hard.
I looked at Janice. I said, that kid is going to get away with
It's murder.
so
I know.
much because they're going to go, but he's cute.
That's tough.
His whole life.
That's the
That
thing.
face.
My neighbor said that comment. It was so funny because she saw Maverick and he did something. I don't remember what it was. And then he gave it to her. Like she dropped something and he gave it to her. And she literally looked at him and she looked at me and she went, you better lock him in the basement. I was like, why? She's like, he's going to get away with so much with this kid. I'm like, it's true. Little boys are very cute. Little boys are you can get away with
Moms
a lot.
and their boys.
Yeah, they
My
say
dad.
that.
Yeah, I know. You don't have a brother. I got a brother. I see it.
know. I haven't felt that
poor
yet.
Marky, yada yada. I'm talking about my brother. Anyway,
This is a good guest today.
this is a phenomenal guest.
so excited.
Wait, Candace, I read over 6 million followers on all platforms.
Like all her platforms. She's got such a good book. It's called Birth Vibes. She was like not a writer at all. And then she wrote this book.
Yeah, but she's an expert in what she does.
She is an expert.
Over a decade of bedside experience.
She's an RN.
She's internet's favorite labor nurse.
Jen Hamilton is here.
Yeah, she's a toxic empath. I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, I mean, she's
I haven't given
so
birth to a
funny.
baby, but what was it like?
Well, I do think there's...
Were you on drugs?
What? Of course. Wait a minute.
Give me the good stuff.
Wait a minute. The people that are literally like, I popped a pool.
I popped it out in a pool.
No, I'm saying they popped open a freaking
got
baby
it.
pool and then pumped it up in their living room and then gave birth. By the way, I'm not saying like, how could you? I'm saying good for you. I could never, because Tom looked at me and goes, I will never look at this room the same again if you're giving birth in this room. I'm like, this is true.
Things are true. Things are coming
over.
out.
It's over.
My dad, as a cop, delivered a baby.
No.
And his name was Mark, my father. And they named, as a police officer.
They named him Mark?
Well, it was a woman. It was a girl. So they named Marcy.
Stop it.
Yeah,
that's
but
adorable.
also, like, can you imagine the strength and patience and resilience of these nurses and doctors? We have them for a reason. May we utilize them. I'm not giving no peace, love.
I will say,
with like
when I pulled in, when they wheeled me in, I had one nurse that was with me the whole time, and shockingly enough, her name was Candace. Yeah. And it was so funny. We had the same name, and she was with me the whole time. And that delivery nurse, Candace, shout out to you, I love you. And I'm not shouting at myself if you're just tuning in, that's weird. Her name was Candace, and she was the best delivery nurse. Honestly, it was my partner. Yes, Tom was there. Yeah. But you need that, like,
you were looking in the
calming
mirror, like
support.
Candace.
Yes. But that's probably what Jen is to people. Like, I'm sure women going through things, like you need that person, that rock. And it may not be your partner because your partner's never been through it. You need someone who goes through this every day, calm as a rock, making you laugh,
going through it every day.
Right, like who's in the delivery room all the time. She's pretty phenomenal. If you've not followed her, you need to go and follow Jen Hamilton.
God bless our nurses out there.
We're going to interview her.
Huge shout out with nurses, but let's bring in Jen Hamilton.
I'm so excited.
Hi there, Jen.
My kids are home from school.
Oh my goodness. Hi there.
Hello.
Are they home on a snow day?
Yes. But I need to show you what the snow day looks like.
Please.
Where are you guys?
We're in Jersey. Where are you based?
Oh my goodness. We're in North Carolina. So let me show you what snow day
Oh gosh.
is in North Carolina.
Guys, just so you know, she has like a half an inch.
A centimeter, a powdering.
Oh, that's very funny.
But God bless. You got snow.
We have not gone to school all week.
That is very funny that you're off all week from that little bit of snow.
The whole week.
That is hilarious.
Did you go out in the snow? Did you see the flurries? Is this first flurries there?
Well, you would think that it's the first flurries we've ever had in our lives. You know? But it was a lot of ice, so I get it. Like I get why they had the roads were, and we're not equipped to handle it
Completely.
Yeah.
with driving or with like our equipment that we have to clean the roads. So
That's how it goes.
Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah, well, get out there and show them how it's done. I feel like you do everything.
Yeah, we were just chatting. We were like, where does she find the time? And you're a mom on top of it.
Come on.
Hi, Don't Start Friends. My comedy special has officially dropped. Yeah, it's streaming on Apple TV and Amazon Prime. Just type in Candace Gardino, Italian bread, and watch it now with your family, with your friends, by yourself. I mean, it's a night full of laughs. Come meet my family and tag us in any pictures on social media because we'd love to repost. Back to the show.
How did it start, Jen? Tell us.
Talk to us about how this like exploded.
Being an RN nurse and being like, I'm going to do a video and then it goes viral?
yeah, so I definitely did not get started thinking that any of this would happen for sure. So my very first video was me trying to figure out what the plus button was at the bottom of the TikTok screen.
Same.
Yeah,
I
of
was
course.
like, oh, is this? You know?
Understand it.
And it started out as me just posting like silly mom stuff that I thought was funny. And then
What year was that around?
2020.
So like
is whenever
about
I-
pandemic during the disturbance,
Yeah.
the great disturbance.
The great disturbance.
The Great Disturbance is a great way of putting that. Yeah, I started making videos then, but I would say 2021, 2022 is really when things started kicking off for me. And it wasn't like there was like one video that, you know, went viral. It was just like slow, steady. I guess I shouldn't say slow. It was pretty consistent growth from there. So
What do you feel like the first one that really captured who you were and that your followers were like, yes, I need to keep listening to her and see these funny videos? Was there one that you feel was that special?
the very first like series that I had where people were following along was I did something called Homemaking for the Modern Mom. So it was just kind of like a spoofy, sarcastic homemaking trad wife tutorial where I would show how I do laundry, and that would be letting it go for an entire
Yes.
week, washing it, and then throwing it on my bed, because if I put it on my bed, that means that I'll have to do something with it before I go to bed, and then just shoving it off the
and
bed
then you
or
shove it off the bed.
Basically, makes it to the chair.
My brother and sister-in-law have 3 kids, and I laugh because they have 2 washing machines, one upstairs, downstairs. I'm like, it's a profession as a
man.
parent.
Oh my God, it is a profession.
Just putting it away. You can do the washing. The putting it away is miserable.
We moved last year, and one thing I always said that I wanted, we were going to build a house, but I always said I wanted the laundry room attached to the closet. Like I was like, that
Yeah.
would make so much
Yes,
sense
I
if we
know.
did that. And my husband was like, well, we're going to have to build. Like that doesn't exist. And we found a house where the laundry room was attached.
No,
to the
you
closet.
manifested it. I love it.
did.
Whenever we walked in, I just looked at him. I was like,
Here it is, babe.
Yeah. I love
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
play it cool to keep it like,
I know.
it's not, yeah, like, we love it, but no.
We'll take it. First off, I had a question that I really am so curious. What made you go into nursing? Because my husband's a medical recruiter. He's constantly speaking with nurses and doctors all day long. And he always says to me, my God, being in the medical field, those people, he's like, they are a different breed. I don't know how they do it. We give you so much credit. But what made you want to be a nurse? Like like RN?
Well, my mom is a nurse. So my mom, whenever I was really little, she was the manager of Pizza Inn. So I got to like refill the Parmesan shakers and stuff. Whenever I was 5 years old, she went to nursing school. And so I got to watch her learn nursing from our kitchen table.
Oh, wow.
And so I'd sit down with her and do my homework while she did her homework. It was like we were kind of growing up together. And she would tell me that being a nurse was just taking care of sick people, right? I mean, that's what it is whenever you're a kid. And so I just imagined her doing what she did for me whenever I was sick. So for a long time, I thought it was just like Gatorade slushies and wet washcloths.
Yes. Oh, she's making soup for all her patients. I love it.
So when I was growing up, like teenager style, my mom was like, hey, if you're wanting to be a nurse, which I had told her that I did, she said, why don't you come and volunteer at the hospital? And so you can kind of see what it's about and what it's like. And I was intrigued. I was just so enamored with like watching nurses and seeing what they did. So as a volunteer, I would like refill water pitchers or answer the phones or, do all the ancillary things that I could. I had like the most hours of any volunteer that year. I got like a little pin just because I loved doing it so much. And so then I went to nursing school. That was hard, but whenever I came out, I was like, this is exactly what I always wanted to do.
It's an admirable profession. And I feel like I said before you came on, God bless nurses, right? The ones that are good, that they keep that hospital moving.
Honestly, I literally told Sarah, I was like, I have one son, and when I gave birth, I was like, that labor and delivery nurse was with me every step of the way. And it just so happens her name was Candace. We had the same name, but it was like, I had this thing where I was like, I'm glad my husband was there. But at the same time, I was like, she can't leave me. Like, I wanted her. She was like my support. Like women must go through labor and literally you're their angel because you don't realize how much of that we need. We don't know what we're doing and we're scared and it's a health issue and it's all these things, you with social media now, you just see so many stories that you get so scared to go through these things. And then someone like you being by their side is such a relief. That must feel like such a gift.
It's one of the great honors of my life is to walk with people through the most vulnerable moments. And I know that I am going to you always remember who's with you during that moment, good or bad. So, I mean, what an honor to be there in the moment where the most impactful moments of their life happen.
Yeah. Oh my God. So did you specialize to become a labor nurse or did you go out into the hospital as a general nurse? Talk to me as someone, my brother works in the ER as a doctor of medicine, poison control and emergency medicine. I do hear stories from the emergency room, which have their own stresses and exhaustion to it. But what was your path?
I started out in the ER.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah. So there's part of me that always loves like the adrenaline and the immediate helping of someone is something that I really enjoyed because, there's a lot of things that come to the emergency department that you can fix immediately. Like you identify the problem, you fix it. And so I started out my nursing career working as like a bedside ER nurse. And then like a year in, I walked into work and they're like, you're the charge nurse today.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought it was such an honor. Like, what an honor that they would choose me, pick me for the honor of being charge nurse. But that was because no one else would do it.
I was just going to say, if you were to say that to me, I mean, I'm not a nurse at all, but that would terrify me. And I only know that because I watch The Pit and I see what the charge nurse is. And I'm like, that job is insane.
So I was charge nurse for a long time. I did a lot of that.
I feel like it must be though within your personality, right? This is something that you cannot train people to have.
No, it's innately you. Absolutely.
Oh, well, thanks. And then the last year that I was in the ER, I was the assistant director, which, oh my gosh, I hated it so much. You add the stress of, already with patients and like long wait times and angry people and stuff like that. And you compound that with staff who could be upset about being short or getting yelled at or, by patients or the violence that happens. And so it was just a lot. So I ended up doing that for a year. And at the end of that year, I was like, I cannot do this, not one more second.
Yeah.
So I looked on the jobs page for my hospital and I was really just looking for another schedule because the schedule that I had was just too much.
Yeah.
And so I saw a weekend option labor and delivery position. Labor and delivery wasn't anything that I was like really enamored with in nursing school. I just remembered it being a really wet place to work.
Really wet. I'm dying right now.
Oh my God, that's the funniest description.
I'm also a little nauseous, but I'm dying. That's so funny.
Exactly. It's like when you're a kid and you're like, you have to watch the delivery video.
Oh my God,
like, please.
That video made me never want to have sex. I saw that video in school and I was like, I'm never having sex. Why are they showing us this video?
Why would anyone want to do that?
Never.
Yeah,
Never.
I remember that feeling too. But I was like, I can try it for a weekend position. I mean, that was amazing. So I went, like, it was Friday that I looked at that job. On Sunday, I was shadowing. And by that next Friday, I had already signed papers like, yes, sign me up. Because I walked in, and first of all, they had more nurses for like, not even like a fifth of the patients that we had in the ER.
Wow.
And I was like, how does this work? And then I was shadowing a nurse and she said, okay, let's go see our patient, and didn't add an S to the end of that. I was like, what could you possibly mean by this? What do you mean one patient? And so I got to watch nurses like truly enjoy what they were doing and not feel like they wanted to quit at the end of the shift, And I was like, how is it felt like a magical universe that didn't really exist in real life,
Jen, can you talk to that? Would you mind really quickly talking about being a nurse in these situations, high pressure, overworked? Can you talk a little about burnout in that experience and how, if maybe even nurses that are listening or people in the medical field?
Yeah. I found myself losing my empathy for people.
Oh, interesting.
That was like my red flag.
Yeah.
Where I started feeling so jaded by, like, the last night that I worked, I was in the ER. I was the triage nurse for 36 patients in the lobby.
Oh my.
Like an 8-hour wait. And like, there was nothing that I could do to make anyone happy. I mean, I was having to make life and death decisions. And of course, people are angry because I'm the face of the wait. And I was getting called
everything. Yeah.
Everything. And so I found myself getting angry at people,
Of
just on the
course.
inside, because that was how I was being treated, but it wasn't me that they were mad at. It was just what I represented.
Yeah. And so not enough workers.
Well, that was going to be what's my question is there any way to fix the system?
I think that fixing the system involves a whole lot of nurses coming together and deciding what we're going to put up with, I guess. And the biggest thing plaguing nursing right now is the willingness of hospital administrations to put nurses in unsafe situations, staffing-wise, violence-wise.
Yes.
Because we are expected to, as nurses, kind of like the duty of, we're there for the patient. We have to be sacrificial in our care, and that we have to sacrifice our safety, our sanity. And so when we show up to care for people, I mean, there's this level of like, oh, well, that's what you signed up for.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When we can be put in unsafe situations, and just because that's who we're supposed to be, is we're supposed to be carers and sacrificial in that caring. And so I think that calling out unsafe staffing. So like one thing that I've done recently on social media is let patients know that when they go to labor and delivery, there's a set of staffing standards that the hospital should be following. And there are people that are not happy that I'm saying that. And I'm sorry, I think that patients have a right to know that they should expect safe staffing when they go into the hospital. Now, there's always going to be things that come up, right? Like you could have call outs or a snowstorm or like a surge in patients. But on a basis, everyday level, a hospital should be staffing with an appropriate number of nurses to care for the patients to keep them safe. But there are hospitals that are getting away with unsafe staffing because they can, because no one has bumped the system yet.
It's so interesting that you're saying this, Jen, because my husband would literally be on the phone for like hours talking with nurses, and they have disability clinics that he's constantly staffing. And he will say, he's like, we need to make this environment safe because this nurse is scared of X, Y, and Z because this happened on her last job. And he was like, we don't realize all these standards that need to be met in order for everyone to have a pleasant experience and for everyone to be safe. So I think it's important that you call it out. I see him go through it, just having conversations, and also shortage is huge. Every day he's like, oh no, another nurse quit. He's like, we got to fill that spot because I know this patient is only going to be there for so long. And it trickles down, right? It's like a pyramid. It's like you pull the Jenga, you pull it out, it's all going to collapse.
But also these people, like my dad was a retired cop and my brother working in the ER, you see reality of life. I love what you say in your social media. You're a toxic empath, which I feel like, man, it's like a magical like power that we have to have empathy. Yeah. But to another extent, it's exhausting, especially in a state of emergencies or even just like heightened things with birth. Like you're wearing a lot, you're holding a lot. And I think nurses feel that.
I do too. And I'm going to spin this because I want to get to this because I think it's important.
I want to talk about the magic of birth too.
I know. We need to inform Sarah about the magic of birth. But I do want to say this. You're innately funny. And that's
you.
I'm saying
and that is good to have.
And I do think being in a very intense industry like the medical industry, it's so tense. It could be so dark at times. To have someone who has humor, a light about them that you do, I mean, I love that. And you put it on social media, which has taken you to a whole new light.
Heights.
Where you're writing a book and your book's coming out soon. It's like, was there a moment when you were like, oh wow, I'm really funny and I could like make these videos, or were you just flying by the seat of your pants?
Flying by the seat of my pants every single day. Like, I will tell you that 99% of the stuff that I post, I have no idea what I'm going to say until it comes out of my mouth. I don't have a content calendar. I don't plan out like, okay, on this day, I'm going to say this funny thing. Like, I just say the things that I say in real life. And my best videos have been just me thinking something and just doing it. And a lot of people, whenever they're asking me, like I got asked to go teach a class recently on editing. Did you see that video?
I did. That's why I'm laughing. I saw your video and you were like, what?
So there's a local news anchor who teaches a college class about media. And like, he's obviously traditional like TV stuff, but he wanted some like element of the social media thing. And he knows me. So he's like, hey, will you come teach my class? And he was emailing with me and my sister handles my emails. My sister was like, okay, what do you want her to talk about? And he's like, high level editing.
High level.
I don't even know where to begin.
Like, I don't think this is your girl. Fine, that's what I want. Like, I want him to know like how you do your stuff. And so I went there and I like screen mirrored my phone to not a whiteboard, whatever.
Projector.
Yeah.
Comes down.
Yeah, projector.
And I just did a video how I would pressing the record button when I want to say something and being
the fact that you're using your thumbs right wait, the fact that you're using your thumbs to hit record is making me laugh because that's basically you're talking my language because that's what I know how to do. I know how to hit the record button and then I go, do I hold it or do I just press it? Like that's literally my extent of my skills.
I think it's great and I love that you did it.
I just added like a bunch of random effects to it and I'm like, but I don't do that in real life. I'm just showing you like, okay, here's how you can zoom in. And
this is
the
so
thing that
funny.
I think that makes you so special is that you're just like, this is what I do, man. I'm as honest as it can be. And that's where like, you're not preparing in this way as like an influencer.
Because
you were just wearing like, this is my thought. And this is how I feel.
And because that is a thing these days.
And that makes it likable for all the people following you.
And every person on social media these days, like what Sarah's saying, we just want to find someone likable, relatable,
authentic.
like you.
Like you are real.
But a lot of people are going, you said, I'm going to post on this hour, on this day. My algorithm looks the best here. And you're like, I don't know. I just post. You don't even have a set time that you're posting.
No. Backstory.
We love a backstory.
My Facebook got hacked last year. It was like, I say last year, but it just still feels like 2025.
I know.
2024, my Facebook got hacked. And I had made like all these other posts on other platforms, like, please go block that Facebook. I have no control over it anymore, whatever. Well, a friend of a friend knew someone at Facebook and was able to help me get it back. So I wasn't really doing much with Facebook at all. But when I got it back, like I started posting on there because it's like, oh, I have it back now. I should probably start posting. So I just started taking my content from TikTok and putting it on Facebook and it blew up. Like over 1 million followers. And so Facebook contacted me and they were like, hey, we want to fly you out so that you can tell our Facebook people like how you did it, basically. And so I get there and there's a few other people there with me. I think there was like 8 of us. I'm the only girl. It's all these like guy content creators or whatever. And we're all in these like think tank things about how they can improve their analytics and stuff. I'm like, where is that? Like, I've never even opened that before. They're like, how can we make this easier for you to use? And I was like, teach me what an analytic is. I don't know what we're talking about right now.
Oh, you're making my day right now, because I feel like I have conversations with my husband. You know, we're all doing the hustle of life, and he'll just be like, did you check your analytics? I'm like, did you check yours? He's like, I don't even know how to post, Candace. I'm like, great, because I have no idea what you're saying.
Are you still full-time nursing?
I work the same as I have whenever I first got the job in 2018. I was working Saturdays and Sundays and then 1 day a week every other week, 2.5 days a week. And so now I'm to 2 days a week, but I haven't stopped or slowed down working since all this started. So I still work every weekend, and like I'll be working this weekend during another snowstorm.
I don't want to talk about it.
Can you imagine knowing? Crazy. No, but you're pregnant, about to have a baby.
You're pregnant, about to have a baby.
Snowstorm coming.
Yes.
You want to tell us some stories?
Yeah. Do you have like a favorite delivery story that you're like, this was hilarious?
Hilarious, wonderful, magical.
I know. I always go to the hilarity because I thought it was just so funny delivery. It was hilarious to me. What do you got, Jen? Give us something.
Okay, so this one happened a while ago. I come in to my shift and I am taking care of a girl that's been pushing for a long time, right? And it's hard to meet somebody new in that time because it's like you're kind of almost done, but you're having to like get to know somebody new real quick before all this happens. And so the energy in the room was low, you know, and I'm trying to hype her up. She was real sad because things were taking a long time. And I was like, hey, let's listen to some music. Is there any kind of music that you would like to listen to? And she said, she looked at her husband and she's like, spy music.
Spy.
Okay, all right. Yeah. That's interesting. But listen, I'm here to accommodate.
Yeah, you're like, whatever you need.
I get out my Spotify and I look up spy music, and it's like the dun 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 dun. That's what Mission Impossible.
It's like 007.
Yeah. And so I start playing it and I'm getting into it like, yeah, like here we go, you know, like this is a secret mission and you're gonna do it. It's a Mission Impossible. And she's looking at me and then looking at her husband and then looking at me, and she said, I said spa music.
Oh, I'm beside myself.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that's so good.
It came out spa. Like spa music.
Oh my God, Jen.
Oh my God, did they at least laugh? That is so funny.
Was it like
she laughed so hard she pushed?
I was just gonna say that. That's very, very funny.
She did have a vaginal birth after that. Mission Impossible.
She did. Oh my God. You know what, Jen? I have a friend who plays music when she's like on her 4th kid, because her birthing experiences were not mine. I had a C-section, but her birthing experience is literally like, I play the music that I'm like feeling that day. She's like, and if my husband makes me laugh, you know, the baby just comes out. I was like, no amount of jokes was getting the child that was in my body out of my body.
I was just thinking some like heavy bass. Like I would like some like Luda. Like let's get like bass. And we're like, oh, we're pushing it out. I'm gonna, you know, like Miami dropping like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot. Ooh, Sarah.
That's how you get pregnant.
That's true.
You know.
Well, whatever.
Okay.
Oh, God.
You have a book coming out.
That's really funny.
I do.
Like
you
birth
wrote
vibes.
a book, girl.
Yes, you did it. Talk about that experience. Coming out in May.
Yes, so Birth Vibes is coming out May 5th. It is a book for anyone who is going to have a baby, has had a baby, wants to have a baby, or anyone who just enjoys stories of like human connection and compassion. So the reason that I wrote the book was that I have a lot of patients who come in with very specific birth plans about things that they want to happen. Because during pregnancy, we're all dreaming about that perfect birth scenario of like, what would a good birth look like for me? And a lot of people focus on the what happens, right? On I want this to happen, I don't want this to happen. And if things go differently, that can cause some disappointment, some grief, some trauma. But also, in hearing people talk about their birth stories, a lot of the people who had really traumatic births were not describing things that were medically traumatic, right? Like I had an emergency C-section, or I had to have a vacuum, or like my baby had to be resuscitated, or something really, really medically traumatic. They described things like I wasn't listened to, or I didn't feel heard, I didn't feel respected, I felt rushed. And so I realized that there's so much more to birth than the what happened. It's mostly about how it happens, because you can have a birth go completely to plan and check off every box on your list, but if you don't feel respected, communicated with empathy, if you don't feel like you were able to make decisions for yourself, that can lead to grief, disappointment, and trauma. And then on the flippity flop of that, you can have somebody who has a birth that goes completely off the rails. But if they were communicated with in an empathetic and compassionate way, if they were given the opportunity to make decisions for themselves, and if they felt like they were in a safe place, they can leave that experience feeling positive about what happened, even though things went way crazy. So the book kind of builds on the idea of a birth plan, but allows people to build kind of like this cocoon of safety around them, so that no matter what happens in their birth, they still have elements of their birth plan that protect the other stuff. The communication, the support, the environment, the adaptability that you can have, and what kind of information you need to make informed and empowered decisions for yourself. So the first half are like HIPAA compliant stories. So they're all real things that have happened in my experience as a labor and delivery nurse, but I would take one thing from this person, put it with this person, kind of like,
Yeah.
so it's HIPAA compliant. And they each represent an element of birth that can make or break your situation, right? So after each of those chapters, it kind of allows you as the reader to be able to build that for yourself. And then the second half of the book is all the basic information that you might need to know if you're going in to have a baby. Like what kind of decisions might you be asked to make, or what kind of information might you need to know before you make a decision that's maybe not in your plan. So it's all about kind of informing people to be able to make their own empowered decisions.
Oof,
amazing.
So important.
The thing that you said on the last part is it is interesting when we go to doctor's appointments where they say, oh, bring somebody else, because it becomes a dizzying situation.
Yeah.
And giving birth, right, one of the biggest moments in a woman's life and a family's life, you're not thinking necessarily straight. Right. But I wanted to ask you this as well. You're talking about in the control of the patient, the mother. What about how important the bedside manner is to the nurse? Like, have you done some training or working with other nurses to kind of use your superhero power of empathy?
Absolutely. And I think that everyone has a different personality, right? There's going to be straight shooters. There's going to be people who are, all about encouragement or sweetness, and we each have our own needs as patients about what we need from somebody. And so I think that one of the beauties of nursing is that on any given shift, there's so many of us with different skills, right? So in the book, I talk about how if you have a nurse with a different skill set than you might need, and you don't feel like you're vibing,
Yeah.
that you can ask for a different nurse. And I give, scripts and stuff on how you can do that. Because it can be as simple as like, hey, I need a different nurse. That can be as simple as that. I am very much a people pleaser. I do not like confrontation. And so I'm somebody that would want like, help me figure out how to ask for this in a
Yes.
kind and compassionate way. And so I give some of that. But then also I think that with the book, I hope to show, especially new nurses, that there is a different way to interact with your patients than maybe even you were taught in nursing school. Because there's a lot of like mean girl stuff in nursing, and a lot of us were had some trial by fire and were thrown into situations that we probably shouldn't have been, or shown how to care for patients in not a very empathetic and compassionate way. But kind of turning the table on that, we don't have to be that way. Here are some, and I hope to show in the book that there are some ways that you can connect with people that maybe you haven't thought about, so that our patients. And I just feel like we get so much more out as nurses if we're able to connect with people in a human way. And if you're kind of like being standoffish or judgy, or I mean, you're only cheating yourself too, you know? I just feel like there's so much love and joy and kindness and happiness that we can get from our jobs that we do if we interact with people in a compassionate and empathetic way.
Oh my God. There's so much. I could literally talk to you for so long because I just feel like you have so much great knowledge, but also such a great way of looking at this medical field that so many of us are scared of. Like, I will be honest, I'm a scared human walking into a hospital. Even if I have to get just a blood test, I'm like, what is happening?
Obviously, we're going into hospitals to get help.
Right. And I'm always
so it's
nervous.
not always you're not walking in to be like, this is going to be an easy day.
No, but I feel like I feel like if I'm walking with Jen, I'm okay. I'm like,
exactly. We're walking with Jen. Jen, you're also doing amazing. You have an amazing nonprofit.
Yeah. What is this Hot Mess Express? Please tell me.
Talk to us.
So it started back in 2021. I was on Facebook and saw, I'm sure you guys have probably seen like moms groups on Facebook, like local moms groups.
Yes.
So I'm in one of those, and there was a mom who wrote anonymously in the group about needing cleaning help. She said, can somebody like tag some cleaning companies around me? She said, I'm postpartum. I can't get out of bed. Like she had postpartum depression. She had another child. She just felt like she had gotten so behind that she didn't even know where to start. So there were a lot of people tagging like cleaning companies. And she also said like, please, I can't afford this, but I'm going to have to do something.
Because it's expensive. It really is.
Yeah, it's very expensive. And so people were tagging some cleaning companies. And I made a separate post like, hey, we are the village. Like, why can't we go help this girl? Like, is there anybody willing to go with me? If she's willing, like, let's figure out where she lives. Let's go and help her. And there was like 10 of us who showed up to her house, and we sent them. It took a lot of trust on her end too, to have like these 10 moms show up.
But she's also like, please come inside.
Oh my God, I love that. I honestly, postpartum and like all those things, if 10 moms no less showed up at my front door, I think I would just collapse into a puddle crying, like, hug me. That was so wonderful.
So we sent her out, her and her family away, and for like the next 4 to 6 hours,
wow,
we cleaned her house top to bottom. We did all of her laundry and put it away. We swept, we mopped, we organized, we did her dishes, we set up some crock pot meals. We went to Walmart.
Oh my God.
You're a sensational human.
I love that.
Oh,
May we walk in the path of Jen? We're walking in the path of Jen.
I just love that because honestly, that's like walking back into her house. That poor woman probably felt there's a hot meal, laundry's done. Like the checklist was like dwindled down, and that feels so good.
How important that home feels as a mother, right?
Jen,
You're
I love
nesting and everything.
Oh my God.
Our goal is just to give people like of not just a house reset, but a mind reset, to be able to walk forward in progress and peace,
And is it still happening?
Yes, it's still happening. It's all over the country. And so if you go to hotmessexpress.co, you can kind of find where the chapters are. We encourage people to join a chapter if there's one already in your area, and then make a chapter if there's not. I mean, we have so many people who need help, but it's for any woman who's kind of feeling like they are overwhelmed and they can't get ahead. We've helped moms who have moms with Alzheimer's. Like, we've gone in to help the mom with Alzheimer's. And so it's just really about women helping women, and it's just a beautiful thing. I have had to step back from it, from my own personal life getting a little bit crazier, but I still support everything that they do. And I just am so glad that we've been able to help as many women as
Oh my God, you're doing so much.
Yeah, you're doing so much. We want to take up more of your time, but I want to ask you, you have such an impressive your experience, your resume. I mean, you've been featured in the New York Times, CNN, Huffington Post, and now with this outrageous platform that you have, what is the message you want your followers to know in every video that you do? And, what do you hope you can give back to the world as an influencer?
Just human kindness. I feel like that's a lot of what's missing in the world, and that, if we can connect with people as human beings and remember that each of us is living here for the first time, we're all experiencing life for the first time, and understanding that, people have stuff going on that you'd never know about. And so just seeking the best intent, treating everyone with respect and kindness, and doing everything that you can every day to make the world a better place.
I want to hug you. I wish we were in the Carolinas to hug you.
Yeah, I know. Me and my girlfriend keep using that for everything. Like when we get stressed, we're just like, peace and love. Peace and love. Everything's peace and love. Because inevitably we all have some type of stress happening, and you just got to find it.
Okay. Yeah. Birth Vibes comes out May 5th. We can pre-order it. Everyone can follow you on Instagram, obviously. Please keep doing the work that you're doing. We need more people like you in this world. As we know, it's a crazy world. So we're big supporters of you. We're going to follow you everywhere.
And be nice to your nurses. They're working real hard out there.
Oh, gosh. Jen, thank you so much. Go back to those beautiful kids.
Your kids need you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, my love.
Be well. Thanks
Bye.
again.
I love her.
Yeah, it's spectacular for people to use their platforms in this powerful way, but also to take what they do in their everyday work as a nurse, and is being honest about what they go through, and the fact that she got a book deal. Girl, get it.
I love the book deal.
I'm like, I should write. And they're like, please write for us.
I mean, the book deal, all of it. But what I loved so much more than, she's a doll. But what got me was she was like, what analytics? What posting? Because there's all this stress for social media content creators, when to post, what to post, how to look. And she was like, I don't know.
I mean, that's the big thing, right?
It's great.
Where some people are lucky and they get this kind of just doing it, and they're like, I'm just being me.
She's just being her.
And then there's people, and that's incredible.
It's so
that's
fun.
like God sent down on you and said, I shall give you this.
She was like, millions of viewers.
But she's doing it for good, right?
Good.
But also there's people that you could force it, right? Force it through you're going to do everything to make sure and you might never see it. And that's just life itself.
Yeah, it's true. And then the fact that her book is focusing on the birth plan, I didn't interject when she was talking because I wanted her to get it out. It's really important for women wanting to have a baby, currently pregnant, had a baby, wherever you are in your journey. It's important to know that you do have a birth plan, whatever that plan could be, but you also have to know that anything could happen.
That's what I was
think
it's say.
Really, I didn't have a birth plan. My birth plan was literally like, hey, can I just have a C-section? I knew I didn't want to push because I had so many past injuries
I don't understand
and
the birth
surgeries.
plan. I'm going to be right up.
Should I give you your birth plan? You're just going to have a C-section.
No, because this is the story. I'm not a mother. I don't know if I'll be a mother. But it's like these women that want to control everything. Why don't we say there's love at the end of this? There's babies after this.
She didn't get into
May I
it.
trust these brilliant doctors that have worked so hard. However, the biggest thing I took away from the birth plan is feeling heard. And that's where I question the other side. That what she's saying is the being a nurse is empathetic. That you're not turning it out like it's a business. And that's very hard when that's what you do every day.
And other people will say, because I had this thrown at me while I was in the hospital, people will say, oh, you elected to have a C-section. And I said, yes. Well, don't you want to try and push? Like I had one nurse say, you're not even going to try. And and then my view was, this is me trying. Yeah. This is my best effort because I know my body and my physical surgeries and all that stuff before then. This is my choice. So everyone has a judgment around it, which she does not.
Yeah, and isn't that incredible that this person that can speak to you like that, you'll never forget those words.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's where these moments, they are extremely heightened. So how it's treated, people don't forget about it. But I think life itself is uncontrollable.
You kind of just have to fly.
Why don't we just hope for the best?
That's what Tom was like, whatever.
Just make what's happy. Do what makes you happy.
Do what makes you. Tom literally said the same thing for like 3 months leading into giving birth. He was like, the healthiest choice that we all three of us leave the hospital. Like literally that's all he kept saying. Because you get scared into a lot of things.
Because this is the biggest thing I got out of therapy this week. Is stop trying to control things that you have no control over.
Well, I think that's what her book is going to tell you is that here's how you adapt. Because you do need to be adaptable in those situations.
How do you adapt when this is the height of that's the thing is like, thank God
she's going to give us a little script. She said she wrote a
that's
script.
incredible.
Because you don't know how to like verbalize it. You literally just like, help me. So play a little spy music. I died.
No, I was there for it.
I'm dead. Don't start.
What would be your music? Oh, you said spy.
I did like, when we gave birth, I had like it was like 60s and 70s and 80s all mixed in. I was like
waterfalls, aggressively.
Yeah, totally Eclipse of the Heart was playing.
Just very wet sound.
When she said wet, I'm out. I'm out. Don't start.
Thanks for joining us today.
You can follow us on Instagram at Don't Start Podcast.
Or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
And we'll see you next time, friends.
Don't Start is produced by Anthony Street Productions.